Until the 29th of December, this channel is proudly sponsored by HelloFresh UK. You can get discounts on fresh recipes and meal kits delivered to your door. You can use the code down in the description at checkout or the link down there as well, and you'll get 50% off your first box and 35% off the 3 after. Hello and welcome along to a mini bonus episode of Championship Predictions from the Honest Football Podcast. We're back with one more game before Christmas as there's a rearrangement from earlier in the season, and it's two sides that, well, for just over an hour, had a very similar weekend experience. The finish, not quite so much. What are we talking about? Of course, it is the rearranged game between Coventry City and West Bromwich Albion. For Coventry, of course, it was a dream start at the weekend. A 3-0 lead against Swansea City. No one expected it to end in a 3-3 draw. Whereas for West Brom, they went 3-0 up against Rotherham United at a 70-minute mark. They kept their lead comfortably. They make it 5 in a row under Carlos Corberán, who is just starting to get that side flowing. So let's talk about West Brom first, because although they have been winning games under Corberán, although they've looked incredibly solid at the back, particularly impressive given their early season defensive form, 4 clean sheets in 5, but this was by far their most emphatic attacking display. They dominated the game from start to finish, they created bundles of chances, and after that comeback against Sunderland the previous Monday night, they made it look really easy against Rotherham. And it's a really interesting game because West Brom, from looking over their shoulder just a few weeks ago, now 5 points off the playoffs with this game in hand on most, and if they win it, they could go as high as 8th place, particularly given their goal difference. For Coventry, on the other hand, a point above and another game in hand, it looks pretty good for them. But what could have been before the weekend? They looked like they were going to bounce back from that poor defeat at Reading in comprehensive style for 65 minutes. 3-0 up against Swansea, cruising you would say. But interesting that Mark Robin said after that was overturned and a 3-3 draw was the final score, that he felt his team took the foot off the gas, that they thought it was a bit easy and maybe started doing things they wouldn't normally do. If they'd won that game and clung on, a win in this one would have taken them into the playoffs. As it is, the closest they can go now is 8th place again and 1 point behind. But either way, it is two sides that have generally been in very good form. Coventry, yes, they've had a disappointing start since the World Cup. 4 wins in a row prior to that. They are generally very good at home across the board, and of course boosted by the news that they will now be at the CBS the rest of the season, just gives them a little bit of continuity on and off the pitch. For West Brom, brilliant form. Carlos Corberán is doing one hell of a job, and if he's back to get 1 or 2 additions in January, I really think they could be playoff contenders, as we all thought they would be at the start of the year. Great to see so many different scorers in the last few days for them. Grady Diangana finally starting to show glimpses of what he produced when he first joined the club. Jed Wallace adding a goal after some of those in midweek, Daryl Dicate being one of the scorers there. What on earth do we predict in this game? Coventry brilliant at home. West Brom 5 wins in a row. You feel like in the Championship that run has to end soon, but I don't know if it's going to be this one. They look so solid at the back, and Coventry, albeit mostly earlier in the season, have had the odd slip up, and after their own very good defensive form, that one was a really poor finish to the game. I think Mark Robbins will try and get them to bounce back. I can see this being a really tight one, but I am going to go for a West Bromwich Albion win. 6 in a row, get themselves up to 8th place. I'm going to go 1-0, the classic away win for the Baggies. That's my prediction for this midweek. We'll review all the weekend's games and this one in the next episode for Boxing Day's fixtures. If you did enjoy this one though, please do chuck a thumbs up on it. Let me know down in the comments what you think the score will be. And of course, as always, if you beat my score, you get a mention in the next episode. That one will be out on Friday this week ahead of the Boxing Day schedule. I hope you'll come and join me for that. If you want to stay up to date, subscribe and turn that notification bell on. And you can support the show as a channel member by clicking the join button down below. Finally, a quick thank you to HelloFresh for sponsoring. You can check out the link down in the description. You get money off and it helps support the channel too. And we'll be back here just before Christmas to get our Boxing Day predictions set in.